recording? Okay. Okay, hi guys, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here for some more yoga. As always, you can make any adjustments you need. You should feel good in your body, and everything's always optional. So we'll get started in child's pose, unless you would rather start somewhere else, but I'm gonna get started in child's pose. So you can go ahead and start to find your way towards that. As you start to settle into your child's pose, you can have your knees close together. And that's going to give you a bigger stretch in your back. Or you can have your knees a little bit wider, and that's going to give you a bigger stretch through your hips. And then just see if you can relax through your shoulders, your chest, your forehead. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Just start to allow yourself to arrive more completely in your space on your mat. Draw your awareness just to the fact that you are breathing. Before you start to move, you might take a moment, just scan your body. Notice any places that feel especially tight and tense. And breathe a little more fully into those spaces. Take another full breath in. Open your mouth, full breath out. Again, inhale, fill your belly. Exhale, push the air out. Once more, your deepest, fullest breath. Inhale. Exhale, empty it out. And start to walk your hands as far forward as you can. Extend your child's pose. You can tent up onto your fingertips or maybe leave your palms down. But lift your elbows away from the mat. And with that, actually moving them, pull your fingers back towards your knees. Pull your tailbone towards your heels. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you lifted your palms, set them back down. Nice and slow to start to drag your hands all the way in as you rise up into a comfortable seat. You can stay on your knees or you can come to sit cross-legged on your mat. And inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, tee them out, reach equally in both directions. Then we'll swoop your right arm underneath your left arm. You can grab opposite shoulders, or if it's accessible, you can keep wrapping, grab opposite palms. Then lift your elbows up and away, create more space between your shoulder blades. And if you keep lifting, you might start to find a little arch in your upper back. Then exhale, start to round your elbows forward. Create space between the shoulder blades. Just let gravity do the work here of opening up your upper back. Inhale, start to reach your arms overhead, unravel them, reach them high. And as you exhale, tee out your arms. This time your left arm will come underneath your right arm. And again, you can grab opposite palms or opposite shoulders if that feels a little better. Then inhale, reach your elbows up and away. You might start to look towards your fingertips, maybe find a tiny little back bend, but keep pulling your ribs together. Then exhale, round forward. Let your elbows become heavy. Soften through your neck, through your face. And start to unravel your arms. Reach them overhead. Then exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Use your thumbs to press against your sternum. Allow your eyes to close. Just check in with yourself again here. You might set an intention for your practice, a positive thought, something that moves you today. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bring your hands down by your sides. Then bring the soles of your feet down towards your mat. Make sure there's room behind you to roll all the way down. Your feet should be about hips distance apart. And reach your fingers out in front of you, or your hands can stay at your heart. And we'll nice and slow start to make our way all the way down onto our backs. And the slower you go, the more core engagement you're going to get here. When you arrive, walk your feet a little closer towards your hips. Turn your palms face down. And then lift your hips, find a bridge pose. Your tailbone should point pretty much straight towards the front of the room. Squeeze your inner thighs together even though they won't actually touch. Then magnetize your heels towards your shoulders. Nestle your shoulder blades just a little bit under your body. And enjoy this nice opening through your heart, your ribs, even your hip flexors. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly lower down. Then windshield wiper your knees a little side to side. Bring them back to neutral. Pick up your right ankle, cross it over your left thigh, and we'll keep sliding your right foot forward until your knees stack on top of one another. Then you can pick up your left foot, tuck your right toes under your calf, if that works. If not, leave the right toes untucked. And bring your hands behind your head, elbows nice and wide. We'll fire up the core just a little bit here. Exhale to lift your shoulders. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. A couple more, your breath. Next time you lift, hold. Lean your head back into your hands. Press your belly button down. Then release. Unwind your legs. Windshield wiper them side to side a couple times. Then bring them back to neutral. Pick up your left ankle. Cross it over your right thigh. Then keep sliding it forward. Lift your right foot. And you can tuck those left toes or leave them untucked. Bring your hands behind your head. Elbows nice and wide. Inhale first. Then exhale, lift your shoulders. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Couple more, your pace. Next time you lift, hold. Inhale. Release. Unwind your legs. You can drop your knees side to side. Maybe pull your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands around your shins. Find a little compression. And eventually, we'll start to rock forward and back the entire length of your spine. Grab behind your hamstrings. And eventually here, you might find enough momentum to find a standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Or you just find it any other way. Feet hips distance apart, soft bend in your knees. You can grab opposite elbows, hang heavy, maybe bob up and down or sway side to side. And gently release your grip, tuck your chin, slowly roll your way all the way up to stand. When you get there, take a couple shoulder rolls backwards, then forwards, and come to standing, palms face forward. Weight in all four corners of your feet. And pick up your toes, spread them wide. See if you can set down your toes individually one at a time, and notice how that engages your whole legs. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Come back to that intention. Inhale. And exhale. Blink your eyes open, reach your arms overhead. Bend your knees, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, bring your hands to your shins. You want your low back to be as flat as you can get it. So little bends in your knees. Press your shoulders back and down, but the crown of your head forward. Release, fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. 1 more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold out and down. Plant your hands, step back. Then lift your hips high. Find your first downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Bend your knees as much as you need. You can shift your weight forward and back. In your downward facing dog, look back towards your thighs. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. Again like that, in through the nose. Out through the nose. Keep that breath going as you move. Inhale, wave forward, find a plank position. Then bend your knees, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. A few more like that. Inhale, wave forward, find a plank. Bend your knees, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Keep going just like that, and just notice that your hands and your feet don't actually move. So they should be spaced the same way in plank as they are in downward facing dog. Next time you're in that little crouching dog with your knees bent, hold there. Pull your ribs together. Press down through your index knuckle. Breathe in. Breathe out. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your knees. Find a tabletop position. So your hands should be right underneath your shoulders and your knees should be right underneath your hips. And just start to pat out your feet a little bit. And come to stillness. Inhale, drop your belly. Lift your gaze. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And exhale, protract through the shoulders. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale, drop your belly, bend your elbows, pull forward. Exhale, round through your spine, push up and back, cat pose. A couple more like this. You might just close your eyes, move freely with your breath. Anything else that feels natural to add on, feel free to add it. And eventually, when your spine starts to feel nice and warm, we'll come back to your neutral tabletop position. And then walk your hands a little further forward. Press your hips back like you're going towards child's pose, but not all the way. Then maybe you curl your toes under. Press a little harder, get a stretch through the arches of your feet. And from here, we'll slide onto your belly with your forearms down. Untuck your toes if you have them tucked. And really pull open through the collarbones, through the chest. And start to roll your head in one direction. Switch it out, take it the other way. And start to bring your head back to neutral. Start to slide your hands off your mat so your chest will come all the way down. Tent up onto your fingertips. Then inhale, lift your chest for a wide cobra. Then slowly lower back down until your forehead touches. Again, like that. Inhale, lift. Your head will be the last thing to rise. Exhale, round forward. One more time. Inhale, rise up. This time we'll hold here. Drop your right shoulder towards the center of your mat. Look towards the left. Then come back to center. Switch it out. Left shoulder drops. Look towards the right. One more time like that, each side. You can hold for as long as feels right. And eventually, come back to center. Slowly lower all the way down. Bring your hands right underneath your elbows. And we'll press your hips back through child's pose. Then curl your toes. Lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes. Bend your knees. Look forward and take as many steps as you need to get your feet towards your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Then rise all the way up to stand. Reach your arms overhead. Bring them to prayer and then drop your hands behind you towards the nape of your neck, right in between your shoulder blades. You should be getting a nice stretch in your triceps. Pull your ribs together. Pull your fingers closer towards the ground. Maybe look up. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to reach your hands high. Bend your knees. Forward fold all the way down. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Step back to your plank pose. And in your plank, you can always drop your knees down and untuck your toes. Or you can leave your knees lifted. Nice and slow. Lower all the way down onto your belly. And when you get there, this time we'll put a little weight in our hands. Open through your chest, cobra. Then curl your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes. Bend your knees. Look forward, step to the top of the mat, feet to hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Rise all the way up, reach high. Hands to your middle of your back. Pull down, inhale. Exhale, dive forward, bend your knees, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, find your plank. Nice and slow, lower down. Then this time, we'll lift the chest a little bit higher. Maybe you start to straighten your arms. Keep a micro bend. Pull your ribs together, engage through your glutes. Curl your toes under, lift your hips, down dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, rise all the way up, reach high. Exhale, right back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back into your plank. And this time, you can lower halfway into chaturanga, then press into the tops of your feet, leave your legs lifted for upward facing dog, but slight bend in your elbows. Then roll over your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. We'll do one more round like that. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Rise all the way up, reach high. Exhale, right back down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back. Your exhale lowers you down, halfway or all the way. Inhale to open through the heart. And exhale to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rise onto your toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Then we'll sink our hips and reach your arms, find a chair pose. So you want your low back to be flat, which means a slight tuck under with your tailbone. If you look down, you should be able to see your toes. Your weight is equally in all four corners of your feet. Your hands can be at your heart, or if it's okay for your shoulders, lift your arms overhead, turn your pinkies in and your thumbs out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Forward fold, straighten your legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. You can take it through your flow. That's exhaling to lower down and inhaling to open up. And then back to downward facing dog. Or you can always leave that flow off and just straight find downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Then step it through. Back heel goes to 45 degrees. Lift your arms. Warrior one. So you want to feel like your hips are squaring off towards the front of the room and your shoulders. So you can bring your hands to your hips and really adjust them. That might mean you have to adjust your feet. Then inhale, lift your arms again. Inhale, expand. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Then step your right foot back as you lower down into your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Then step it through. Back heel to 45. Lift your arms. Warrior one. So really press hard into the blade edge of your right foot. If you need to adjust your hips with your hands, you can assist yourself that way. And pull your ribs together. Breathe in. Breathe out. Hands come down to the mat. Press into them. Step back as you lower, chaturanga. Inhale, open up. Exhale, downward facing. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, travel top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Sink your arms, or sink your hips, reach your arms, chair pose. Maybe this time you can sit a tiny bit lower than before. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Float or skip it. Downward facing. Inhale, lift your right leg. Pull your knee into your chest. Spread through your shoulder blades. Step your foot between your hands. Back heel to 45. Rise right back up. Warrior one. This time we'll add on just a little bit. Start to tee out your arms and bring your left arm underneath your right arm. And just like before, you can grab opposite palms or you can grab opposite shoulders. Kind of give yourself a hug. Then inhale, reach your elbows up and away. Spread through your shoulder blades. Maybe start to look up and lean back. Then exhale, start to round forward into humble warrior. Your right shoulder tracks towards the inside of your right knee. Your neck is relaxed. Press down with your feet to rise up to stand. Unravel your arms, reach them high, inhale. Then exhale, hands come down to frame your right foot. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Drop your left knee down to the mat. Untuck your toes, walk your hands back towards your hips. Straighten through your right leg, but keep a soft bend in your knee. And pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. Maybe you take this into an IT band stretch with both hands over towards the right side. Start to walk your hands back to center and forward, bend into that right knee. And heel toe your right foot out towards the right. Bring both hands to the inside of your right foot for lizard. So a couple options, you can come down to your forearms and get really stretchy in your right inner thigh. Or if you want a quad stretch, you can start to press into your left hand, maybe come onto your left fingertips for a little more space. Reach your right hand for your left foot. Really kick hard into your hands and find that quad stretch. Wherever you are, start to make your way back to your lizard, both hands to the inside of your right foot. And kickstand your left foot out towards the left just a little bit. Sweep your right leg behind you for a modified side plank. The inside of your right foot can be all the way down on the mat, or it can be lifted. And if you want another quad stretch, or a first one if you didn't take the other, you can bend your knee, kick into your foot, or into your hand. Keep pulling your ribs together so that your core stays engaged. Gently start to release. We'll spiral everything down towards the mat, shoulders and hips. Then step your right toes behind you, lift your left three-legged plank. You can make this a three-legged flow, a regular flow, or no flow at all. We'll just meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, pull knee to chest. Step it between your hands. Turn your back toes to 45. And then reach your arms, warrior one. So this time, tee out our arms, right arm underneath the left, opposite shoulders or opposite palms. Inhale, reach up. Maybe you reach so far up that you start to reach back. And exhale, hinge forward, humble warrior. Root down through your feet. Then see if you can pull your tongue off the roof of your mouth. Just use gravity to open up a little bit more. Inhale, rise up to stand. Unravel your arms, reach them up. Then exhale, hands come down. Come onto the ball of your right foot. Drop your right knee. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Flex your left toes. And leave a little bend in your left knee. You can take this into your IT band, both hands over towards the left. Start to square back off. Walk your hands forward. Heel toe your left foot off to the edge of your mat so both hands can come to the inside. And then same options. You can come down to your forearms, get really stretchy, or you can start to bring your left hand to your right foot for a quad stretch. And if you need more height and you have a block or a book or something, you can put that under your right hand. And gently start to release. Both hands come down. Kickstand your right toes out towards the right and sweep your left leg behind you. Lift your left arm. Modified side plank. Here, if you want the quad stretch, bend your knee. Kick hard into your hand. And gently start to unwind. Left toes down, square your shoulders and your hips. Then right leg lifts, three-legged plank. Option for that three-legged flow, or no flow at all. Downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes, bend your knees, look forward, hop or step, feet to hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Then sink, chair pose. This time we'll find an arrow chair. Sweep your arms behind you. Imagine you're squeezing a beach ball between your hands. And maybe you start to get lighter in your heels and lift up onto the balls of your feet. One more breath in. Drop your heels, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. You can take a flow or you can skip it. And find your way right back to down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. From here, we'll do just a little shoulder strengthening work. So drop your knees, that turbo dog we found before. And then drop your forearms. Maybe you can drop them both at the same time, maybe one at a time. And straighten your legs, dolphin pose. So this is just like your downward facing dog, except for you're on your forearms instead of your wrists. So you want your head off the mat. Your knees can be super bent. Really lift through your armpits. If you want to add on, you could always start to lift one leg at a time. Switch it out. This is prep for a forearm stand or a headstand. And take one more breath in. One more breath out. Drop your knees. Child's pose. In this child's pose, you might bring your hands down by your sides, palms face up. And just allow those shoulders to really relax. You can stay here for as long as you need. When you're ready to move some more, start to walk your hands back forward. Press into your palms. Find your tabletop position. Lift your right leg behind you. Flex your right toes straight down towards the mat. And make sure that your right hip is pointing straight down towards the ground. Lift your left arm forward, bicep by your ear. Inhale, get as long as you can. And bend your right knee, reach around, tap your foot. Send it long. Exhale, elbow to knee in front of your body, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach around, tap your foot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale, reach long. This time when you grab your foot, keep your hold on it. You can grab your ankle or the top of your foot. Then pull your ribs in, but kick into your hand. Gently release, send it long. Set everything down. Then drop your belly, lift your gaze. Pull your chin to your chest, around your spine. Come back to neutral. Send your left leg long behind you. Hip point straight down. Reach your right arm forward, bicep by your ear. Inhale, stretch a little bit longer. Then bend your left knee, reach back, tap your toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Reach back, tap. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Last one. Inhale, reach long. This time as you grab for your foot, you can grab your ankle or the top of your foot. And then really kick hard, but see if you can keep your hips and your shoulders square down towards the ground as much as possible. Gently release. Tabletop position. As many rounds of cat and cow or anything else you need to feel great. And once you do, find your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Step it right between your hands. This time we'll stay on the ball of your back foot. Lift your arms, crescent lunge. So your hands can be at your heart, of course. You want to have at least a little bend in your back knee so that your tailbone points straight down towards the ground. And just like we've done before, we'll tee out your arms. Left arm underneath your right arm, opposite shoulders or opposite palms, either one. Then inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, round. Inhale, rise. Last time, exhale, forward. Then inhale, lift up halfway. Fingers point straight forward. And start to get lighter on your back toes until they lift up any amount and you're in warrior three. And if you hate these arms, unravel them and find some that feel better. Flex your left toes straight down and bend into your right knee so that you can start to stand up tall. Pull your left knee into your chest, unravel your arms, reach them overhead. Left ankle over your right thigh, sink into a chair, figure four. Flex those left toes. Your hands can always come down to the mat. Start to rise back up, left knee to chest. Then set it down, sink into your chair. From here, you'll start to pull your right heel towards your right glute, little flamingo chair. Keep your knees in line with one another. And then start to hinge forward as you take a really slow, controlled step to the back. Windmill your arms open, warrior two. So in warrior two, you should be able to take up more space on your mat than you could in your crescent lunge or your warrior one. Your front heel should be pretty much aligned with the arch of your back foot. And flip your front palm, reach forward, up and back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle, left elbow to your left thigh, right arm high. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse. Exhale, side angle. One more time, reach up and back, reverse. Really charge that left shin forward. Then exhale, side angle, and we'll hold. You can stay right here. You can extend by reaching your top bicep towards your top ear. Or if you're working on a bind, you can bring your right hand to your left hip crease. And maybe your left hand comes underneath your left thigh and reaches for your right fingers. And if you're here, keep trying to peel your chest open towards the sky. And if you have the bind, gently start to release, back to side angle. Then one more time, you reach up and back, reverse your warrior. Maybe this time you straighten through your left leg, breathe even more into your left side. Big exhale, gather momentum, will take you to balancing half moon at the top of your mat. Your right leg will lift. That right hand can always come to your right hip, or it can be up towards the sky. Option for another quad stretch here. Bend your knee, take your hand to the top of your foot for sugarcane. Then maybe you can trust yourself, get a little bit lighter in your left fingertips, lift them towards your chest. And if you have the grip, gently start to release it. Square your shoulders and your hips towards the mat. Lift your right leg a little bit higher for standing split. Couple options here. You can take some kundalini squats, tuck your right knee behind the left, and sink into a squat. If you want to kick up into a handstand, you can do that from here. Or you can balance by bringing your hands behind your left calf and trying to pull your nose a little closer to your knee. And then whenever you're done playing, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. You can take a flow, or you can just press straight into downward facing dog. And take a full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg. Step it between your hands. Stand the ball of your back foot. Lift your arms, crescent lunge. Squeeze your inner thighs together here, even though they won't actually touch. Then tee out your arms, sweep your right underneath your left, and find your eagle. Pull your elbows up and away. Inhale. Then exhale, start to round forward. Inhale, rise right back up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rise. Last one, exhale, forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, point your fingers straight out in front of you, and get lighter in your back toes until they lift. Warrior three. Doesn't matter how high you can lift your leg. Slowly start to pull your right knee into your chest, unravel your arms, stand tall. Then cross your right ankle over your left thigh, sink into your figure four. Hands can always come down. Pull your right knee into your chest, then set it down, chair pose. Pull your core up and in. Get lighter in your left heel. Pull your left heel towards your left glute. Pause. Little flamingo chair. Then slow and controlled, big step back into warrior two. When you get there, don't be afraid to adjust your feet if you need to. Press your right knee away from the midline of your body and try to reach equally in both directions. Flip your front palm, reach forward, up and back, reverse. Exhale, right elbow, right thigh, side angle. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, side angle. One more time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, side angle, and hold. You can stay right here. Maybe you extend, or maybe you're working on that bind, half or full. And just acknowledge that this side may be different than the first one, and that today might be different than yesterday, and that one option is no better than any of the others. Eventually you'll start to meet back in side angle. One more time. Reach up and back, reverse your warrior. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, sweep your right hand down, lift off your left foot, balancing half moon. And if you have, again, a block or a book, you can always bring that underneath your right hand. Option for the quad stretch, you can start to bend that left knee, take your hand to your foot, kick hard into your hand, and maybe see if you can get lighter in your bottom hand. You might wobble and you might fall over, and that's okay. If you have your foot, gently release. Start to square everything down, shoulders and hips. Standing split your playtime. You can find those squats. Maybe you find a handstand, maybe you find balance. Just try to be even with whatever you did on the other side. When you're done playing, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. Your last opportunity for a vinyasa flow is right here. And from downward facing dog, walk our hands back between our feet. Then nice and slow, root down to rise up. Reach your arms overhead when you get there. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart, just how you started. Take a moment to reconnect. Close your eyes. To notice your breath. The energy, the warmth that you're creating. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we'll find a little balancing sequence here to wrap up. So start to bring your right heel towards your right glute, just like you did in that flamingo chair. Little bend in your left knee. Then bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Your left hand can stay at your heart, or it can reach overhead, bicep by your ear. And then maybe you start to kick into your hand just like you've done a few other times and find dancer pose. And you want to feel like your hips are still square down towards the ground as much as you can get them. And slowly rise back up to stand. Pull your right knee into your chest. Then big step halfway up your mat. Sweep your arms behind you. Airplane warrior 3. Hands can come down to the mat. They can be at your heart. Anything goes. And we'll start to rise up to stand. This time we'll start to wrap our left leg over the right for eagle. Your left toes can kickstand down on the mat, or they can tuck behind the right calf. Then arms tee out, left underneath the right, grab opposite shoulders or palms, reach everything up and away. Flatten out your spine. Stay here, or start to round your elbows towards your knees. If you rounded, start to rise back up. Unravel everything, reach it high, then shake it up. Come back to neutral, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Start to bring your left heel towards your left glute. Then take your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Reach your right arm high, maybe, or it can stay at your heart. Then bend into your right knee a little bit so that you can hinge forward. Any amount, find dancer. Slowly start to rise back up. Pull your left knee into your chest. Step forward, sweep your arms back. Airplane, warrior three, flex those right toes. Straight down, lift through your chest. And pull your right knee into your chest. Stand tall. Bend into your left knee so that you can get that wrap. Maybe your right toes tuck, maybe not. Your right arm goes underneath your left arm this time. Last time here. Reach everything up and away. And then maybe you start to pull up and in through your navel. Round your elbows towards your knees. If you did, slowly start to rise back up. Unravel. Shake it out. Come to the top of your mat if you're not already there. Soft bends in your knees. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Then exhale, forward fold. Let it go. Swing your arms, knock over your stuff, whatever. And heel toe your feet out to edges of your mat. Drop your glutes. Malasana. If there's something you want from here, crow, firefly, twist, any of that is great. Maybe you just stay right here. You could sit on a book or a block or a pillow if you feel like you need a little extra support. And go ahead and drop your glutes all the way down. Bring the soles of your feet down to the mat, nice and slow, or fast, depending on what you want. Make your way all the way down onto your back. And when you get there, walk your feet in a little closer to your glutes. One more time. We'll find bridge, or you could find wheel if that's in your practice. Inhale to lift your hips. And this time, maybe you lift just a tiny bit higher. You can bring your hands under your hips, clasp them together. Roll onto the tips of your shoulders. Really press your heart up towards the sky. Squeeze your inner thighs together to support your low back and slowly make your way all the way down. Windshield wiper your knees. And allow them to stay over towards the right side. Your arms can tee out or cactus. Maybe you take your gaze towards the left and twist. If you want to deepen, you can always bring your right hand to the top of your left thigh, apply a little extra weight. And start to make your way back to center. Drop your knees the other way. Twist it out. Start to make your way back to center. Send your feet straight up towards the sky. You can leave your hips down for a waterfall. It's a nice inversion. Or you can bring your hands to your hips. Keep your hands on your hips. Roll up onto your shoulder blades for shoulder stand. If you find shoulder stand, the balls of your feet should be the highest point of your body, so you can spread out your toes. You can stay here, or you can start to drop your feet behind your head for plow. Inversions are really good for your immune system, your lymphatic system. So really enjoy those benefits as you rest here. And slowly, one vertebra at a time, if you rolled up, you'll make your way back down onto your spine. When you get there, bring the soles of your feet to touch, let your knees go out wide. If there's any other poses you want to wrap up before you rest in Shavasana, you can take them here. And just start to allow your breath to return to evenness. And slowly, one vertebra at a time, if you rolled up, you'll make your way back down onto your spine. When you get there, bring the soles of your feet to touch, let your knees go out wide. If there's any other poses you want to wrap up before you rest in Shavasana, you can take them here. And just start to allow your breath to return to evenness. your intention to creep back in. Maybe a little sense of gratitude for yourself, your willingness to listen, to give yourself the gift of this time, this practice. When you are ready for Shavasana, find any position that feels supportive and comfy and safe. This is truly the most important part of your practice, where you get to act like a sponge and soak up all the wonderful things, the gifts that you just gave yourself. So really allow yourself to bask in this moment, to soak it in. Take one more full breath. Empty it out. Rest. Breathe in. Breathe out. And slowly and gently invite a little movement back in. Could reach your arms overhead, find a full body stretch. And eventually bend your knees, roll over onto one side. Take a few final moments in stillness to scan your body again. And to acknowledge that the feelings and the emotions that you created in your practice, feelings of calm, of strength, self-love, peace, those feelings are always with you. And you take them with you off your mat. Stay here as long as you need. And when you're ready, press yourself into a comfy seat to end your practice. One more time, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, for trusting me with your practice. It's such a pleasure and a joy to lead you, even though it's virtually. Namaste.